You know that moment when you finally find a flight that's only $29 and you're feeling good because you think you've just beat the system, right? Well, you couldn't be more wrong, because by the time you pay for your seat, your bag, your right to breathe on the plane, that $29 flight somehow costs more than business class. Budget airlines love to brag about low prices, but they've mastered the art of the hidden fee. Today, we're breaking down exactly how they get you and how to avoid falling for the traps. The bait and switch, why that low fare isn't low. Let's start with one of the oldest airline tricks in the book, the good old bait and switch. So, imagine you're browsing flight deals late at night, and you spot a flight from New York to Miami for just $29. Of course, you jump on the deal immediately and click book. But before you know it, the total jumps to $129 once taxes and fees are added. You've just experienced anchor pricing. It's a simple psychological move where airlines flash that super low number to hook you. That $29 base fare plants an anchor in your mind, so even when the total shoots up, it still feels like a deal. Budget airlines like Ryanair and Spirit are pros at this. In fact, a 2025 UX Collective analysis found that they make 10 to 20% of their revenue from these extra add-ons. So that cheap-looking ticket? It's often just the start of how they really make their money. At the core of all this is something called unbundling. Basically, airlines take what used to be part of your ticket price, like checked bags, seat selection, and even water, and strip it out to make the base fare look dirt cheap. Then they charge you for each little thing along the way. A CNN report showed that for many budget airlines, these add-on fees now make up over half their income. Spirit Airlines, for example, might advertise fares as low as $25. But once you factor in bags, seats, and maybe a snack, that price can easily double or triple. It's all perfectly legal. In fact, the Department of Transportation encourages transparency. But it definitely plays on our tendency to jump at the lowest number without checking the fine print. And honestly, it works because we're human. Behavioral economists have shown that once we see that super low fare, we start convincing ourselves it's still a deal even when it's not. $129 for a flight? Still pretty good, we tell ourselves. But is it really? According to a March 2025 report from NerdWallet, those $100 budget flights often end up costing over $200 after fees. Sometimes more than flying with a full-service airline like Delta. Up next, let's talk about where airlines really cash in. Your luggage, the baggage battleground. If that tempting low fare is the bait, your bags are where budget airlines really cash in. Luggage fees have become their gold mine, literally. A 2025 Senate report found that U.S. airlines made billions from baggage and seat fees between 2018 and 2023. That's not a side hustle, that's the business model. Here's how it works. Most budget airlines let you bring one personal item for free. Basically, a small backpack or purse that fits under the seat, around 18 by 14 by 8 inches. Anything bigger, like a regular carry-on roller bag, costs extra. A lot extra. On Spirit, a carry-on can cost $35 if you add it while booking, but wait until you're at the gate and it jumps to $65. Frontier plays the same game. Checked bags run about $54 to $99, and carry-ons go for $30 to $60. Allegiant lets you check a 50-pound bag for $35 to $50 each way. But if you go over the limit, the fees skyrocket. And if you're flying Ryanair in Europe, expect to pay anywhere from €20 to €60 for a carry-on, depending on the size and when you pay. This is where things get wild. Go just a few pounds over the limit, and the costs skyrocket. On Frontier, Anything over 40 pounds can tack on another $75 to $100 per bag each way. Spirit charges $100 for bags weighing 51 to 70 pounds. And that's before you get hit with linear inch penalties. Go past 62 inches in total dimensions, and you're looking at another $100 or more. And if you're over the limit at the gate, that's when panic pricing kicks in. A U.S. news report found that these last-minute fees can reach $150 per bag when travelers are desperate to board. I've seen people drop $200 on a suitcase that was just a couple pounds too heavy. Brutal. But don't worry, there are easy ways to avoid these traps. First thing you need to do is pack smarter, not heavier. Stick to a capsule wardrobe and roll your clothes to save space. Also, make sure to max out your personal item. A sleek duffel with compression cubes can fit a week's worth of clothes without triggering extra fees. Another interesting hack is to ship it ahead. For longer trips, services like Luggage Forward or even USPS can send your bags for $50 to $100, often cheaper than what the airline charges. Also, make sure you weigh before you go. A quick bathroom scale check can save you a small fortune. Finally, pay online. According to the Penny Hoarder, buying your bag allowance online can save you 20 to 50% compared to paying at the airport. Next, let's talk about the seat selection scam. The seat selection scam and boarding pass blues. Seats are the silent battlefield of every budget flight. Once upon a time, choosing your seat was just part of booking a ticket. Now, it's another clever way airlines make extra cash. Ever notice how every good seat, aisle, window, near the front, suddenly costs extra? Welcome to the seat selection scam. Budget airlines love to advertise free seat selection, but when you actually try to pick one, almost everything decent is behind a paywall. According to a 2024 NerdWallet report, these fees usually start around $15 per flight leg, meaning a round trip could set you back $60 just to avoid sitting in the middle. Frontier and Spirit are the usual suspects, charging anywhere from $10 to $50, depending on the route and how desirable your seat is. And it's not just the prime spots either. Even standard seats can come with a price tag. A late 2024 Senate probe found that U.S. airlines raked in $12.4 billion from seat selection fees over 6 years. Money that used to just be part of the fare. As Simple Flying put it, most travelers cave in and pay up because no one wants to be split from family or end up in the dreaded bulkhead row with zero recline. Then there's the boarding pass hassle, a small thing that airlines have turned into another way to make money. Forget to print or download your pass? That's a fee waiting to happen. Ryanair, for example, charges £55, $68 US, at the airport, a cost that survived court challenges in some places. Frontier travelers report extreme cases of up to $125, though official kiosk fees are usually $5 to $25. Breeze Airways is $3, Allegiant $5, waived for military, and Spirit is just $2. It's small individually, but stacked with all the other fees, it adds up fast. Priority boarding is another classic upsell. Airlines pitch it as a way to avoid the overhead bin scramble, usually $10 to $30. Is it worth it? CNBC's travel experts say yes if the flight's full and you've got a carry-on, you'll snag space before everyone else. On emptier flights? Probably not. You're mostly paying to sit on the tarmac a little longer. Quick hack, check in exactly 24 hours ahead to grab early group status for free. That way, you can skip the upsell without losing your spot. We've hit the big ticket extras. Next up, the sneaky little fees that pop up right at checkout. Navigating the nasty nitty-gritty. Beyond the big ticket stuff like bags and seats, there's a whole bunch of tiny fees that quietly sneak onto your bill and add up fast. Take credit card processing fees, for example. Many budget airlines tack on 1 to 3% just for using plastic. And for international bookings, exchange rate markups can add another 2 to 3%. NerdWallet notes that on a $200 ticket, that can quietly cost you an extra $10 without you even noticing. Some European carriers still charge outright for card use, though US regulations limit that. Then there are the infamous convenience or booking fees, the mysterious $10 to $50 added at checkout just for using their website. MSN's 2025 roundup calls it a phantom charge, popping up after you've already entered your payment info. It's basically a textbook case of the sunk cost fallacy. You've invested your time, so you're more likely to pay without thinking. GoOpti even lists these fees as one of the top hidden costs, sometimes making up 10% of your fare. These little extras might seem harmless, but together they can turn a budget ticket into a surprisingly expensive trip. The biggest trap? Change and cancellation fees. The bane of anyone who likes flexibility. On airlines like Spirit, adjusting a ticket can cost anywhere from $99 to $200, even within 24 hours of purchase, though the DOT requires free cancellations in the first day if booked at least 7 days ahead. According to LendingTree's 2025 guide, domestic changes usually start at $25, but international flights can hit $500 or more. Frontier's GoFare, $99 flat, no refunds. A BTS dataset shows these fees have been creeping up since 2007, and Q1 2025 is no exception. These fees aren't accidental, they're part of the plan. Investopedia points out that budget airlines often make 60% plus of their revenue from extras like these, a fact highlighted in a viral 2025 Facebook breakdown. But here's the good news. Now that you know how they work, you can outsmart them. Next up, let's dive into practical ways to dodge these traps and actually keep your wallet intact. Your flight plan for fee-free travel. So, now you've unmasked the traps and your flight plan for fee-free-ish travel. Actionable strategies first. Always use incognito mode when searching, because airlines track cookies to hike prices on repeat views, per UX Insights. Compare total costs, not just base fares, add bags and seats up front. Read the fine print. DOT's new 2025 hidden fees rule mandates displaying add-ons early, saving surprises. For tools and resources, Google Flights and Kayak's total cost filters reveal fees instantly. Skyscanner's price alerts ping drops, including ancillaries. Hopper predicts trends, set watches for your route. For bags, pack scales, and fee calculators on airline sites. Consumer Reports swears by credit cards waiving foreign fees, like Capital One's no 3% hit. Finally, empower yourself, travel light, book direct, and embrace flexibility. A Booking.com guide says these habits slash costs 20 to 30%. So, what do you think about this guide? Also, share your horror stories in the comments. Worst fee you've dodged. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and drop a bell for alerts. Thanks for watching.